Well, I was going to start by saying welcome back to sunny Bondi, and this is how we celebrate Christmas, but yeah, the weather's one thing I can't change. But we are going to make marshmallows. So, but we got some cranberries here, so obviously Christmas. We've got some star anise, cinnamon, clove, vanilla bean, you know, all those things that scream Christmas are going to go into the marshmallow, so it's going to taste like that sort of Christmas cocktail into a cloud. It's going to be epic. Okay, first step is to infuse some water with our Christmas spices. So we're going to go, it's a cup and a half of water there, so just half of it. And then we are going to add our spices in there and infuse. So what I mean by infuse is all that flavour from the cinnamon and vanilla and all those spices are going to go into the water, which is then going to impart into our fluffy marshmallow. So into the pot of water, we're going to go cinnamon, star anise, we're going to go some clove, we're going to go our vanilla bean. I'm just going to top and tail it just to make it a little bit simpler. It's going to go straight into the pot as well. And the idea is by scraping it and running your knife very carefully down the back of the vanilla, just opening it up on one side, and then you get all your beans and you miss none of them. And you just use your vanilla bean, your pod, just to scrape those beans off in there. Onto the stove, medium heat, and we're not going to bring it to the boil, we're just going to warm it up. So just enough for all those spices to infuse. We're also going to add some sugar. So we've got a little bit of sugar here. You can use coconut sugar, you can use honey, you can use maple syrup as well if you wanted to. But okay, so what you want, yeah, you want the sugar to dissolve, and you want all those flavours to impart into the liquid. So it's going to sweeten your marshmallow, and it's also going to flavour your marshmallow. So you could do this exact recipe and change the spices up if you wanted to. You could make it savoury and leave the sugar out. But the idea is it's this gelatin that sets it. Okay, so while our water and sugar are infusing and turning into a sugar syrup, we're going to mix the remainder of our water and some powdered gelatin together and just make a paste, and then we'll add that to that sugar syrup in a second. So water into a bowl, gelatin goes in, give that a good mix. That'll thicken up and turn into a paste, and then once our sugar and spices are infused over there, we'll add our gelatin paste to it, and then we're going to chill it, let it come to room temperature, cool down a bit, and then we're going to whisk it. And what will happen is, as that sort of gelatin starts to set, the whisk is going to add air bubbles and it's going to catch it. It's going to get lighter and lighter and fluffier, and it's going to, you know, grow by about 4 times its size. It's going to be pretty amazing to watch. So that's all you need to do. So I'm going to turn that off. You just want that sugar to dissolve into that water and the spices. Can you smell that?
Yeah. It smells great.
It smells like Christmas. Okay, so you can see it's sort of turned into a paste. It's starting to thicken up. Our sugar syrup and spices are infused. You can see that there. I wish you could smell it. And what we're going to do is going to add them together. So we need to chill it to room temperature and cool it down before we whisk it. Spices and all, just like that. Look at that vanilla bean, that's what I was talking about. And then we're going to grab our gelatin, and we're just going to add that in there as well and just whisk it. And the gelatin's going to melt. It's going to mix in with our sugar syrup. So we're going to whack this in the fridge. We're going to let it cool down to room temperature, and then we will start to whisk it up. What are you doing? Just preparing a tray to pour the marshmallow into. So just so once we set it, we can just lift it straight out. So our marshmallow mix has been in the fridge for probably about 15-20 minutes, and you can see the gelatin starting to set. It's cooled down. So what we're going to do is going to take out these spices, chuck it into the mixer here, and start whisking it up and get it catching the air. And then we're going to turn it on to high speed, wind him up, get him going. Because that gelatin's half set, basically what's happening is the whisk is beating air into it, and then the gelatin, instead of grabbing it and setting it, it's going to increase in size. So that'll increase 4 times its own size, and you watch in a little bit, it'll just be white and fluffy. Alright, so that's what we're after. It's quadrupled in size, it's caught all that air, instead of it stiff peaks. How good does that look? Okay, so cranberry's going to go in there now. We're going to fold it through, coconut in there. I mean, you can add whatever flavours, nuts, whatever you'd like in there. We're going to whack it in whatever mould you want to put it in. Spread that out to the corners. How good does that look? In the fridge. And then let the gelatin do the rest of the work.
How long will it take in the fridge?
2.5 to 3 hours, depending on how cold your fridge is. If you want to speed it up, you could sort of whack it in the freezer, but don't forget it because it'll go rock hard. Chuck them in there. That's pretty well it. The rest is up to the fridge and the gelatin. But this is what it'll look like when it's done. And cranberries on top.
What's it going to look like?
It's going to look like this. Big slab of set marshmallow. So tasty. Alright, so it's that easy. Out of the fridge, slice it up into squares, serve it, eat it, and enjoy Christmas. Homemade, Christmas spiced marshmallow. How epic does that look? Tastes even better, I can promise you that.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas. Make sure you check out our Christmas playlist and the rest of it. You know what to do. We'll see you next week.